Hi, it's Peter Nankervis, Managing Director of the Lighthouse Group, and I'd like to break down organic growth into a simple framework for you. So there's three circles here: your next phase, sales and leadership. So your next phase, I'm sure you're trying to grow your business by 10, 20%. Possibly you've been charged to double the business over the next 5 years. But we're constantly always thinking about how do we take our business to the next level. And whatever that is for you in the next phase, whether it's sales transformation or customer culture or just trying to actually build capability to be able to get to the next level, it'll be done through your people and your customers to be able to get that growth. So really that means then there's two key levers for you. One is the effectiveness of your sales and customer teams, and then the second part of that is your leaders, how well they're able to enable and leverage the competence that's sitting in your sales and customer team. So if I start here with sales effectiveness, we break that down into a really simple framework that growth is a combination of your activity times your effectiveness. So simply put, activity then is the number of interactions or conversations typically that your sales and customer teams are having with their customers. It's not just about lifting quantity, but it's also about having the right level of conversations in the right order. But most of your objectives, if you can try and lift A, that's going to definitely have a good impact on your sales growth, right? Particularly if you can leverage that across your customer-facing teams. But if we don't, but you can have the conversations or lift the activity, but the second part of that is the effectiveness of that hire. And we break effectiveness down into four key categories. So the first is the planning, second is co-creating, third is presenting, and then the fourth is closing, PC. So I'll start with planning, because that is the ability for your salespeople and your customer-facing teams to be able to understand the customer's business, and therefore to be able to research the right things, to understand their drivers, to be able to then prepare for the conversations in the right way with some very specific, clear objectives and agenda on what they'd like to shape that meeting to be. Salespeople are typically not great at planning, so they need some really good tools and frameworks on how to do that. Secondly is co-creating. So we're now into the conversation. Do your sales and customer teams really know how to get to the heart of what the customer's drivers are? Do they know how to ask the right sort of questions to be able to get to what we call the explicit need, which is not only the understanding of the need, but is it the customer understanding or having the motivation to do something about it? So there's a clear gap that's understood then in co-creating. And then when we get into presenting, it's then how well we're able to bring the right solution or the right product to that need. But not only that, can we communicate that in a very clear, compelling and confident way so it sounds and it comes across with real value in terms of the proposition that we're putting to the customer. And then the fourth area then is your ability to navigate and close. Can you then take the customer through or get to the right decision makers that need to be engaged as part of the process? Have you resolved your objections along the way? And are you able to kind of then try and close that opportunity off with the customer by demonstrating the value it's going to have to your customer's business? So this is the whole sales effectiveness, the art essentially of really being more effective with your customers to be able to grow. The second part then is the leaders. So we use a process called Align, Change, Empower. It's called ACE, because there's an alignment that needs to happen within the business. One big part here is getting clear on the process that the sales and customer teams need to take the customers through, and not just take them, lead them through. So there's a shift in kind of mindset and attitude and ability of your customer facing teams to be more consistent, but also to take more control of leading the customer through the process. And then the third thing they need to do then is to hold accountability to be able to do that regularly and consistently. So leaders need to understand what good looks like, but they'll then need to lead against it. And that typically is what we call the C in the ACE model, which is then being able to have the change conversations with people about feedback, preparation conversations, to coach to what is required for good practice. So that's the whole kind of art really of then building high performance through your sales and customer teams to get to the result that you're looking to achieve. So it's the sales effectiveness with a combination of the leadership effectiveness that then enables you to generate that next phase growth with the specific objectives that you have. So I hope that's given you a really clear and simple way to think about driving organic growth, something that we all are looking to achieve. And if it's resonated with you, then just email us at the email address below. And because if we understand your context, then we can come up with the right roadmap for you to achieve your objectives. Best of luck.